Good morning. Today's intention is accepting. And I often hear people kind of going, I don't want to accept that. It's not about giving in. Accepting doesn't mean that you give up on what you believe in. It is more about accepting what is with an open heart. And, like I like to say, a filter of possibility. See, when I accept what is, then I'm on a level playing ground, and then I can move forward. When I'm fighting against something, then I'm digging myself into a hole and I can't move forward because I'm too busy scrambling up. I have an expression that I use a lot, and that's it's an is. Now what? You have free choice. And so a lot of things that are going on right now are an is. Now what? Your free choice determines what you will do with that. And the sooner you can get to a place of acceptance with open heart, the more creativity and possibility flows your way. Doesn't mean you give in, doesn't mean you give up. It means you go, it's an is. Now, what is my part to play in this? So, good morning, Jennifer and Marnie and Joy and another Marnie and Heather and Susan and another Susan and Crystal. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Good morning to you as well. So, let's talk about accepting. Maybe pop into the chat box where you have been having a little trouble accepting, and I can help you repattern that. Because you see, until we get to this side of the line, we don't have any ability to be creative, make intelligent decisions, have intuition. We're just in fight, flight, and freeze. And so I'm not saying that this is about rolling over and giving up. It's not about that kind of accepting. It's accepting from here. Let's start with being accepting of ourselves, shall we? That'll be a quick and easy repatterning. And then if there's something that comes up for you that you're going, this is not something that I can accept. I just can't accept this. Pop it into the chat box and I'll help you with repatterning it. So let's start with a forgiveness statement. I forgive myself for believing that it's hard to accept me just the way I am. Breathe that in. Oh no, your monkey might be saying, oh, but I haven't accomplished flying to the moon. I haven't run a marathon yet. But you're accepting of a baby just the way they are. They don't even know how to go to the bathroom by themselves, for heaven's sakes. So why not just be accepting of you, knowing that you're doing the best you can in any given moment. And that's an is. And now what is next? That puts you on the upside. I give myself permission to see myself with a lens of possibility. And that means accepting me where I am right now. I give myself permission to see myself with a lens of possibility. And that means accepting me where I am right now. And breathe it in. Let it go. I can be harsh on myself or judging of myself, or I can be accepting of me. I choose to be accepting of me. Now, that brings to mind Maslow's hierarchy for me. The second level of Maslow's hierarchy is talking about safety and security, and most people think that it's safety and security outside of themselves. But it's safety and security within yourself as well. You need to know that you're safe with you. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't hang out with somebody that beat me up all the time and called me names and put me down. I like to have friends that are accepting of me, that understand I'm human and doing the best that I can. So choose to be your own good friend. Maybe you can't get to best friend yet. That's okay. Let's start with a good friend, or at least a caring neighbor, okay? I choose to be accepting of myself like I would a caring neighbor. I'm free to be accepting of myself today. Now, this is where you individualize it for yourself. So, where might you be accepting of yourself today? I'm free to be accepting of myself today when how about make a good decision about a snack? That'd be pretty easy. You could reach for an apple instead of a bag of chips. How about I'm free to be accepting of myself today when I give to myself a 15-minute, put my feet up and read a book or look out the window. No judgment on it, just acceptance of yourself. Big deep breath in. So I'm seeing trouble accepting at times. Yeah, so let's go here. I forgive myself for all the times I've had trouble accepting me. I can focus on all the times I've had trouble at it, or I can focus when I've been successful at it. The one that will be supportive is to focus on the ones I've been successful at. Okay, breathe that in. Good morning, Jennifer. Another Jennifer that's popped in. Good morning, Blush Design. Good morning, Pat. Good to see you. Okay, thank you so much for joining me and setting this intention. You see, if we can help a number of people, if we can get to that over the line place, it doesn't have to be everybody accepting themselves. We just need a critical mass. Because once we begin accepting ourselves, then we pass it along to others, and then they learn to accept themselves more. And maybe you had a mom or a dad that didn't accept themselves very well, and they kind of passed that along to you. Or maybe you were fortunate and had a mom or a dad that was very accepting of themselves, and they passed that along to you. I was super fortunate. I had one of each. I had a parent that did not accept themselves, and they passed that along to me, and that brought me belief repatterning. And I had a parent that was accepting of themselves, and that also brought me belief repatterning. You see, you get to decide what you do with what you have, but as long as you're pushing against something, that's where your energy's going. So I forgive myself for believing I'm at the beginning. Somebody said they're just at the beginning of accepting themselves. But you see, if you didn't accept yourself, you wouldn't do stuff like brush your teeth or get dressed or feed yourself. So you do all accept yourselves. If you didn't accept yourself, you wouldn't be online with me right now. Maybe you want to upsize it. But let's go here. Let's be accepting of incremental steps rather than saying, I have to do the whole meal deal 365 days of the year, 24/7. You know what? Newsflash. I'm not accepting of myself 365, 24/7. And I'm consciously moving towards it every day. One of my mentors posed a question one time and said, is it possible for you to be 1% better at something today than you were yesterday? Yeah, 1%. Anybody can do that. So be 1% more accepting of yourself today. Cut yourself a little slack. Have an open heart. Where might you be free to do that? And you can also think about when you were accepting of yourself, when you did buy yourself that new blouse or that nice blanket or that good book. And look at the people who are accepting of you. They're not horrible people. They're good people with good intentions. And they accept you. Don't be looking at the ones that aren't accepting you, because you know what? They're not accepting you because they're not, three fingers back at them, they're not accepting themselves. And so if you're not accepting yourself, then that's what you're doing unknowingly to other people. Accepting yourself. I choose to be 1% or bonus round more accepting of myself today. How can you do that? Well, when you hear or think or feel a thought that puts you down, you can just go, oh, I know that you did the best you could right there. Or, oh, that wasn't kind and I'm kind and I'm learning to be accepting. Go gentle on yourself. You are already accepting of yourself. And join me in the belief that if we all increase our acceptance of ourselves, we'll be able to navigate the rest a lot more easily. Hindsight is 2020, and we're right at the middle of 2020. Let's have 2020 vision forward, and let's make it about being more accepting of ourselves first, and then it'll ripple out to others. Your intention for today, accepting. Thanks so much for joining me. Big deep breath in.